How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel for another Star Wars game video. And yes, you can probably tell from the title that this is not good news at all. In fact, I'm going to be making this video a lot shorter than normal, as to be perfectly honest. I don't really want to spend any longer talking about this than I have to, because I just kind of have no words, to be honest. This entire thing continues to baffle me to the point of disbelief. I just do not understand it. So no beating around it, let's dive straight into it. So for a long time, everyone has thought that Battlefront 3 would inevitably happen. I mean, it's the most obvious decision for a future Star Wars game. Battlefront 2, even after it was brought to an end, managed to conjure up 19 million players in a week. Word of mouth regarding the Battlefront name had shifted massively in a positive way. It's a bankable franchise, it's a guaranteed moneymaker for EA. So Battlefront 3 was just like beyond a complete no-brainer. We know this, everybody knows this. Apparently, EA didn't really get the memo though, because according to Tom Henderson, and we've spoken about him on the channel before, he is deeply entrenched in the gaming industry and Battlefield 2042 specifically, like the dude knows what's going on. He's a very credible source and most people take what he says as pretty much fact. Well, he sent out a tweet recently discussing that DICE have actually moved on to their next project, which literally everyone was hoping would be a Battlefront 3, but turns out that's not the case. Well, he sent out this tweet which said, "The migration from Battlefield 2042 back to other projects has begun. Criterion is now moving back to their Need for Speed title, and the DICE studio is moving on to their next title, which is expected to be another Battlefield title and not Battlefront 3. DICE have officially moved on to their next project, and it's Battlefield again. Battlefront once again has to sit on the sideline. It's just it's a little bit ridiculous. So that's basically put a big red cross over Battlefront 3 happening. Now, I made a tweet regarding this, as I just don't understand the logic here, as pretty much everyone, from what I can gather, doesn't understand it either. Fellow Star Wars game YouTuber Sammy Boy pretty much summed it up perfectly. Basically, the gist is EA are pretty much just saying no thank you to $1 billion. Virtually every single content creator that I know has commented on this in some way, shape or form, and those that, like work with EA, like myself, as they just do not understand the logic here. They've come out and expressed the disdain toward the blatant disownment of Star Wars games, specifically Battlefront 3. If a Battlefront 3 was monetized properly, it's $1 billion game. You have a chance to take advantage of arguably the biggest IP in entertainment and make a game from arguably the most popular game franchise within that IP that is guaranteed with a decent monetization system. It would just be $1 billion game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's just like, nah, can't be bothered. I don't understand, and clearly no one else does. Like, we've always noted the complete lack of acknowledgement to the Battlefront franchise since EA left Battlefront 2 to its death in 2020, which to a degree was understandable. You know, the world had just gone into a pandemic and the game's monetization system was basically non-existent, and they had to send their resources to Battlefield. Fair enough. But to not jump back into it as the world starts to get back to normal, and they've made their big Battlefield game that they abandoned Battlefront 2 for, but they're just not coming back to it. Like, what are we doing here? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm super excited for EA to release Fallen Order's sequel. They've at least got one thing going well, but they could have so much more to capitalize on, and they're just choosing not to. I'm taking this news as complete fact because I trust this source completely, and it does make sense given the ever declining likeliness of Battlefront 3 coming in recent months. Like, developers have been leaving DICE. One developer in particular left DICE and went to Massive Entertainment, who are working on a Star Wars game right now. And it's no wonder that so many big names at DICE regarding Star Wars have left recently, like Dennis Brandvell, because there's just no Battlefront for them there anymore. So Battlefront 3's prospects, they haven't looked good in the recent months, but this is the final nail in the coffin for this franchise under EA. I don't think we're ever going to see a Battlefront 3 from them, which is annoying, because I think DICE deserve to give this franchise another go. They came so close to making the ultimate Battlefront to end all Battlefronts with Battlefront 2. The only thing stopping it was the botched pay-to-win mechanic from the game's launch that pulled the game backwards before it even got started. And then of course, DICE had to play catch-up for the rest of the game's live service. So DICE getting a chance to work on the third game and to get things right from the start, I just don't see how that could have resulted in anything worse than EA doubling or tripling their investment into the game, like as a worst case scenario. I just don't think I've seen a company pass up so much easy money like I've seen with EA and Star Wars lately, and it's really deflating to sit there and keep watching it happen. Like, we know Star Wars has a bright future, and it's because of games like the Ubisoft open world Star Wars game and the KOTOR remake, both of which have nothing to do with EA. Because if we want to get super technical, despite EA saying that they're committed to Star Wars and they're working on multiple games, they actually have nothing officially announced. Zero. Now, they did say that they have Star Wars stuff to reveal at EA Play in 2022, and I'm sure that's where we will get the Fallen Order reveal, and I cannot wait for that. Fallen Order is like my most anticipated game ever, so I can't wait to see what Respawn are going to do with it, even though, again, technically EA have not announced it, even though we know it's a thing. But I would not be surprised if that is the only Star Wars game that we get from EA from here on out. So yeah, the Battlefront franchise, it's officially dead under EA. When the Star Wars license handover is complete, I have no doubt that a publisher will greenlight a new Battlefront game, a new start to the series, as it's just common sense and literally a money printer, but EA just don't want to do it. It just seems that the only people that don't see that are EA. Unfortunately, and they're the ones that are going to make the decision. So as for Battlefront under EA, I think that's a wrap, unfortunately. But I'm sure in due time, a new publisher will come along and do what EA should have done the whole time. So guys, let me know what you will think of this. Even though I know pretty much what you will think of it, I think we're all on the same page here. It absolutely sucks and makes absolutely no sense, but you know, it is what it is. So guys, make sure you keep an eye out on the channel, as I do have videos coming for Battlefront 2015 for its 6-year anniversary coming in a few days time, and then I've got ones for Fallen Order and Battlefront 2 as well. So keep an eye out for those with that notification bell. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys next time.